Describing a nearby park. Hello and welcome to English Listening Time. Today, we're going to talk about describing a nearby park. Parks are wonderful places where people can relax, play, and enjoy nature. Let's explore the vocabulary and phrases you can use to describe a park in your neighborhood. Introduction to parks. First, let's talk about what a park is. A park is an area of land set aside for public use. It usually has grass, trees, and open spaces. Parks can be small, like a playground in a neighborhood, or very large, like national parks that cover thousands of acres. Today, we'll focus on describing a typical city or neighborhood park. Parks are important for many reasons. They provide a place for people to exercise and play. They offer a space to relax and enjoy nature. They help make the air cleaner in cities. They give animals and birds a place to live. They make our neighborhoods more beautiful. Location and size. When describing a park, it's good to start with its location and size. Here are some phrases you might use. The park is located in the center of town. It's just a 5-minute walk from my house. The park is situated between Main Street and Oak Avenue. It covers about 2 city blocks. The park stretches from the river to the old train station. To describe the size, you could say, it's a small neighborhood park. It's a large community park. The park is about the size of 3 football fields. Entrances and paths. Most parks have entrances and paths. Here's how you might describe them. There are 4 entrances to the park, 1 on each side. The main entrance has a big sign with the park's name. There's a wide path that goes around the whole park. Smaller paths connect different areas of the park. The paths are made of gravel and are good for walking or jogging. There are benches along the paths where people can sit and rest. Trees and plants. Parks usually have lots of trees and plants. You could describe them like this. The park has many tall old oak trees that provide lots of shade. There are beautiful flower gardens near the main entrance. In spring, the cherry trees bloom with pink flowers. The center of the park has a large open field with grass. There's a small forest area in one corner of the park. You can see different kinds of birds in the trees. Playground area. Many parks have a playground for children. Here's how you might describe it. There's a big playground area for kids. The playground has swings, slides, and a sandbox. There's a special area for small children with safe, low equipment. The ground under the playground is covered with soft material to prevent injuries. Parents can sit on benches near the playground to watch their children. There's a water fountain near the playground where kids can get a drink. Sports facilities. Some parks have areas for sports. You could describe them like this. The park has 2 tennis courts that are free to use. There's a big open field where people play soccer or frisbee. You can find a basketball court near the south entrance. There's a small skate park for skateboarding and rollerblading. The park has a jogging track that goes around the outside. In winter, they make an ice rink for skating. Water features. Some parks have ponds, fountains, or other water features. Here's how you might describe them. There's a small pond in the middle of the park. You can see ducks and geese swimming in the pond. There's a beautiful fountain near the main entrance. The park has a stream running through it with small bridges crossing it. In summer, there's a splash pad where kids can play in the water. There are benches around the pond where people like to sit and read. Picnic areas.
Many people enjoy having picnics in parks. You could describe picnic areas like this. The park has several picnic tables under the big oak trees. There are grills available if you want to have a barbecue. You can find a large covered pavilion for group picnics. Many people bring blankets and have picnics on the grass. There are trash cans and recycling bins near the picnic areas. On weekends, you can see many families enjoying picnics in the park.
Wildlife. Parks often attract different kinds of animals. Here's how you might describe the wildlife. You can often see squirrels running up and down the trees. There are many different kinds of birds in the park. Sometimes you can spot rabbits hopping around in the early morning. The pond is home to ducks, geese, and even a few turtles. In spring, you might see butterflies in the flower gardens. There are signs asking people not to feed the wildlife. Park amenities. Parks often have various amenities for visitors. You could describe them like this. There are clean, well-maintained restrooms near the playground. You can find water fountains throughout the park. There are plenty of garbage cans to keep the park clean. The park has good lighting, so it's safe to visit in the evening. There's a small parking lot for people who drive to the park. You can find maps of the park at each entrance. Safety features.
It's important for parks to be safe. Here's how you might describe safety features. The playground equipment is checked regularly for safety. There are emergency phones located throughout the park. The paths are well lit at night. There are park rangers who patrol the area. The park closes at sunset to ensure safety. There are signs with rules to help keep everyone safe. Seasonal changes. Parks can look different depending on the season. You could describe these changes. In spring, the park is full of colorful flowers and new leaves on the trees. Summer is when the park is busiest, with people enjoying the warm weather. In fall, the leaves on the trees turn beautiful shades of red, orange, and yellow. Winter brings a quiet beauty to the park, sometimes with snow covering the ground. The types of activities in the park change with the seasons. Different birds and animals can be seen in the park depending on the time of year. Park events.
Many parks host events for the community. Here's how you might describe them. In summer, there are free concerts in the park on Friday evenings. The park hosts a big 4th of July celebration with fireworks. There's a farmer's market in the park every Saturday morning. The community organizes a park cleanup day every spring. In December, there's a holiday light display in the park. The local schools sometimes use the park for field trips and outdoor classes. People and activities. Parks are all about the people who use them. You could describe the activities you see. Early in the morning, you can see people jogging or walking their dogs. In the afternoon, the playground is full of children laughing and playing. You often see people reading books or having picnics on the grass. Some people practice yoga or Tai Chi in the quiet areas of the park. On weekends, you might see birthday parties or family gatherings. In the evenings, people come to the park to relax after work. Maintenance and care. Parks need to be taken care of to stay nice. Here's how you might describe this. The grass is mowed regularly to keep it neat and tidy. Gardeners take care of the flowers and plants. In fall, workers collect the fallen leaves. The paths are repaired if they get damaged. Volunteers sometimes help to plant new trees or flowers. There are signs asking visitors to help keep the park clean. Nearby attractions. Sometimes there are interesting things near the park. You could describe them like this. There's a nice cafe just across the street from the park entrance. The city library is located next to the park. You can see the mountains in the distance from the highest point in the park. There's a historical monument at one end of the park. The park is part of a larger green belt that runs through the city. Many people use the park as a shortcut when walking to the nearby shops. Personal experiences. When describing a park, you might want to share your own experiences. I love coming to this park on Saturday mornings to read a book. My favorite spot is under the big oak tree near the pond. I've been visiting this park since I was a child. I once saw a beautiful rainbow over the park after a rainstorm. This park is where I learned to ride a bike. I enjoy watching the seasons change in the park. Describing the atmosphere. The atmosphere of a park is important. Here's how you might describe it. The park has a peaceful, relaxing atmosphere. It's a lively place on weekends, full of the sounds of children playing. The park feels like a little piece of nature in the middle of the city. There's a sense of community in the park, with neighbors often meeting there. The park has a different feel at different times of day. It's a place where you can escape the noise and stress of the city. Improvements and future plans.
Parks often change over time. You could describe plans for the park. There are plans to add a new butterfly garden next year. The city is thinking about building a small cafe in the park. Some people want to start a community vegetable garden in one corner of the park. There's talk of expanding the playground to include more accessible equipment. The park might get free Wi-Fi in the future. There's a project to plant more native trees and plants in the park.
Conclusion. Describing a park is a great way to practice using descriptive language in English. Parks are full of sights, sounds, and activities that you can talk about. When you describe a park, try to use all your senses, what you can see, hear, smell, and even feel. Remember, every park is unique. The park in your neighborhood might be very different from the one we described here. Practice by describing a park you know well. Think about its special features, the things you like about it, and the memories you have there. We hope this guide to describing a park has been helpful. It's a great topic for practicing your English speaking and writing skills. Next time you visit a park, try to describe what you see in English. You might be surprised at how much you can say. Thank you for listening to English Listening Time. Keep practicing your English and enjoy your local parks. Good luck with your studies.